We start with breaking news out of Sydney, Australia, where 2 people are reportedly dead after heavily armed police stormed a cafe, ending a 16-hour siege. A lone gunman, who's among the dead, had been holding more than a dozen people hostage since Monday morning in the Lindt Chocolat Cafe in the central business district. Sky News is reporting at least 4 other hostages have been injured and a police officer suffered a head wound. The suspect has been identified as Iranian Muslim cleric Haron Monis. The 50-year-old, who also goes by the name Sheikh Haran, is well known to Australian police. In 2013, he was convicted for writing offensive letters to the families of dead Australian soldiers. And this year, he was charged as an accessory to the murder of his ex-wife. We're joined now by Channel 9 Australia reporter Laura Tunstall, who's at the scene where it's almost 5 a.m. local time. Laura, thanks for being with us. It's been heartbreaking, obviously, being so far away from home and seeing all this unfold. What's the latest on the condition of the hostages?
Yeah, Josh, it's just been a terrible story, and the ending that nobody wanted, and we've been waiting all night, and to see it end like this is just tragic. Look, the latest we have at the moment, we're about to get an update from the police commissioner here and also the Premier of New South Wales, and we're hoping to have some confirmation on numbers there. We have been hearing reports of 2 dead, possibly 3, and we also have a number of wounded as well. Obviously, that should all be confirmed in the next hour. I was here in Martin Place when that gunfire went off. It was so sudden. It had been so calm up until then, and there was a sort of eerie kind of quiet, really, as we were told that there was negotiations underway. It was all very calm, and that this would take some time. It looks like possibly maybe a group of those hostages have maybe made a break for it. There was a sort of a loud banging noise and a door flung open, and about sort of 5 of them kind of tumbled outside, and then after that we saw another couple break free, and then we heard gunfire and what we believe to be some sort of stun grenades going off, which actually sort of lit up the building around it, and then the paramedics were allowed into the building, and that's when we saw this terrible sight of stretchers carrying the wounded coming out of the building here. So we do believe that the gunman has been killed, that he is one of those who has died in this.
Can you just give us a sense of the geography and what you could actually see during the siege? I was a little bit curious about why it was going on so long. If it's a glass-fronted store, I wasn't sure why there wasn't the possibility of a sniper just putting a bullet in his head at some stage. What were you able to see?
Well, so Martin Place is, as you would know, Josh, quite long and quite narrow, and there's a number of streets that intersect across it. So the cafe is on a sort of set up almost on a corner, but the glass windows face into Martin Place, into the square, if you like. We are perhaps a block back where the exclusion zone is, so we can see the front entrance of the cafe, but there's also a side exit as well, and that's, I guess, some of the hostages have come out the side and some have come out the front. So there's been sort of 2, spots, if you like, where they have been able to go in and out. Those front windows, though, is where we saw those images early yesterday of the hostages lined up in the window. They were sort of forced to do kind of shifts, if you like, waiting there for 2 hours with their hands sort of held above their heads, their faces pressed up against the window. We had seen snipers on the building. We were told by police that they were obviously, their main priority was people's safety. The cafe also has a back office attached to it as well, so I think some of the activity was going on not in front of the windows, in terms of we didn't see the gunman passing by those windows too often, and when he did, he tended to use a hostage as a shield, so I would presume that it was simply too dangerous to take a shot at him.
Yeah, do we have any sense of what demands he was making, what the content of the negotiations was? Do we know what his motive was?
Yeah, look, he had obviously told many of the hostages to contact a number of media organisations. So we had phone calls from hostages yesterday. There was also a lot going on social media as well. They made some videos as well, which were being circulated on social media. Some of those demands were that he wanted to speak to the Prime Minister. Other demands were that he wanted an Islamic State flag to be brought into the building. And I believe there was another couple of demands which police may make more clear today. So certainly As far as we know, those demands weren't met, but we are expecting an update, as I said, in about half an hour's time from authorities, so hopefully they can give us a better indication exactly what happened, because it certainly did appear that when those hostages came out of the building, it did seem to take police by surprise.
Right, that's interesting, because I had kind of assumed that the element of surprise was concocted on the part of the cops who'd wanted to take advantage of the element of surprise, but it sounds like this may have been a spontaneous thing outside of the police force's control.